Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah.
I don't have a name or case number on who I'm here for.
I don't know either.
Oh,
I'm just the
okay.
assistant prosecutor, so I don't know. I don't know why
Okay.
I'm here either, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's fine.
There's Your Honor. Hello.
We're
Good
all in the
afternoon.
Both honors.
same boat.
Good afternoon, Madam Interpreter.
Good afternoon,
APA
Your
America.
Honor.
You're on Marciano Chavez, is that correct?
Marciano, I do not have a name or case number. Marciano hyphen
can
what
get-
now?
I can give you a case number.
Okay.
It's case 25055-66301, and the name is Jose Luis. Last name is Marcano, Marcano Chevere.
E-E-R-E. I'm sorry, that case number was 25055.
66301.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Afternoon, Magistrate.
Do a breakout room whenever
Who do you need a breakup room with?
with the Spanish.
Okay, all right, we'll do that, right, we'll get them out there right now. Good afternoon, APA, Hadid, how are you?
Good, how are you, Judge?
Well, thank you for asking. What are you on, who are you on? Frank Cabrera?
Yes,
Are you ready on that matter?
I am if you are, Judge.
Yes, we'll call that one first, just one moment, please. Okay. Counsel Scheib, it looks like your office is on the mail side. Let us know when you're finished. Or if you could go to camera 4, please. Thank you. Good afternoon, Counsel. Mr. Sombrero, state your name, please.
Frank Sombrero.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you. This case 2505556, People State of Michigan versus Frank Sombrero. Parents for the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, to your staff, Rana Hadid, on behalf of the people, P62243.
Good afternoon, Counsel.
Douglas Butcher on behalf of Mr. Sombrero, standing to my right, P64722.
64722. Thank you. Good afternoon. As to the arraignment.
We'll waive formal reading, stand mute.
Thank you. And you've advised your client of his constitutional rights, is that correct?
I have your
Court waive formal reading and I believe not guilty. Scheduling 2 court dates. Mr. Sombrero, you must attend both probable cause via Zoom, February 13th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Giles, that's on a Thursday. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person the following Thursday, February 20th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Giles. You understand there's 2 court dates and times you must attend, Mr. Sombrero? Thank you.
Your Honor, I have a case.
On the 13th, was it a felony matter?
Yes, it's a misconduct in office and an assault charge. This one.
Do you have any other dates for this, real quick?
214.
I can do 214.
Okay, so your dates have been changed, Mr. Sombrero. Your court date now is a probable cause, February 14th. That's on a Friday, 8:30, 36th District Court, still via Zoom, Judge Giles. And you have a right to a preliminary examination in person the following Friday, February 21st, also 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Giles. Understood? Not guilty, plea is entered on your behalf, waiting for reading as the bond from the people.
Your Honor, the people have no objection to a personal bond, so long as there's a condition that he can't leave the state of Michigan.
Thank you. Are you asking for any type of no contact with the complaining witness?
Yes, of course, Your Honor.
Thank you. Response, counsel.
Your Honor, those conditions are acceptable. I don't believe clients leave the state. Yeah, and as for the no contact, it was a job-related incident.
Let's do that.
He's been working for Wayne County for 22 years. He has no disciplinary history, there's no criminal history. He has a family, it's lifelong.
Is he still employed?
On a paid administrative leave.
So he has no reason to possess a firearm at this point?
Correct.
Okay.
He's got 3 children. He's got retained counsel. He was contacted yesterday when he was sworn out. Range with IA. He arrived here this morning at 7:00. With Internal Affairs, I think 7:30 this morning with Internal Affairs. He's been here all day. He's not a flight risk. He will have to.
Thank you, counsel. Mr. Sombrero, you got good counsels, advocated well on your behalf. You've surrendered yourself to the court, taken into consideration, unaware that you have any assault of criminal history, capious, or history otherwise. These are serious allegations, assault of allegation is count 2. I've reviewed the investigator's report, heard advocacy from the people, and for those reasons, I am going to set bond as recommended by both parties at a $20,000 personal bond. During this bond, sir, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and no contact with the complaining witness, Mr. Fenderson. That's no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. During this bond, until told otherwise, absolutely no contact with the complaining witness. Understood, sir? Councilor, Mrs. Sombrero, do you have any questions on court dates or bond conditions?
No, you're in. Thank you.
Anything further from the people?
Your Honor, and he cannot leave the state of Michigan while this case.
I apologize. Yep, that is on the admit. Yep, you're not to leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court, and that's an order. Is that understood? Okay, thank you for that reminder, APA. Anything further from the people?
Oh, Your Honor, thank you.
Have a good day. Good to see you both.
Thank you.
The new front pages.
Your Honor, we were still interviewing. We're gonna get off the camera so we can have you dial both cameras in and then we'll do a breakout room.
Okay, so you're getting off camera 3?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're off camera 3. Good afternoon, DDC.
I remember that. Good afternoon, and Council Shad. I'm gonna ask them to put Mr. Marciano with the interpreter on camera 4. It looks like that's open as well. Are you gonna be doing the interview, Commissioner?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Good afternoon, DDC. I hope you're doing well. Could you bring number 3, the Marcano, whenever you get a moment, to camera 4? He needs to be interviewed with the Spanish interpreter and his attorney. Thank you, officer, and good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Michael Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. And again, good afternoon. And I got thank you. I'm well, thank you. You're here for case 25055-135. People say Commission versus Michael Bailey, also as Michael Milton Bailey. Appearances.
Good afternoon,
Yes, sir.
Lisa Wells here on behalf of the people.
Judge,
Good afternoon.
may it please the court, Philip Reagan on behalf of Michael Bailey, waive the reading, stand mute. He's been advised of.
Good afternoon, court waive formal reading. Court waive formal reading, enter plea of not guilty, scheduling 2 court dates, Mr. Bailey. You must attend both. Probable cause via Zoom, February 14th, Friday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Taylor. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person the following Friday, February 21st, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Taylor. Did you hear and understand those 2 court date and times you must attend, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Not
Yes,
guilty
sir.
plea is entered on your behalf. That's the bond from the people.
Your Honor, the people see no criminal history, thus no KBS history for Mr. Bailey. No objection to a $10,000 personal bond. There appears to be their possible mental illness. This occurred at Detroit Receiving. I would never ask somebody not be able to go to a hospital. So I would ask for just no contact with the complainant. And especially at the hospital, he should only be at the hospital if he has to go for emergency purposes or whatever, not to have any contact with them.
Objection, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bailey, I'm unaware that you have any history, criminal cases or assaultive or otherwise. I've reviewed the investigator's report. Mr. Bailey, given recommendations from both parties and given the lack of history and the nature of this charge, I'm following their recommendation. You're going to be released on a $10,000 personal bond. You do not have to post any money, sir. During this bond, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. And you're to have no contact with the complaining witness, Mr. Dixon. That's no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at their place of residency or through any forms of social media. You're only to go to the Harper Hospital as indicated by the people upon emergency only. You're not to go anywhere in that location unless it's a medical emergency. I have no contact with the complaining witness. Is that all understood?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Turn.
One moment. One moment, sir.
I'm making a little
Mr. Turner, you're here on case 250556664, State of Michigan versus Leonard Turner, also known as Leonard Turner, appearance for the people.
Thank you, Magistrate, and good to see you, Magistrate Burton. Steve Benson for the people, P 71917.
On behalf of Bennett, we waive the formal reading, stand mute. Mr. Turner has been advised of his constitutional rights, Judge.
Thank you, and good to see you. Good afternoon, APA Vincent. Good afternoon, Mr. Reagan. Court waive formal reading and plead not guilty. Mr. Turner, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them. Probable cause via Zoom, February 12th. That's on a Wednesday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, February 19th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. Understood those 2 court dates and times you must attend, sir. Mr. Turner, do you understand those court date and times you must attend? February 12th, February 19th.
So
Yes
Judge,
or no, sir?
Judge, I'm looking at the wrong sheet that I have. Can you give me 1 second? I'm looking
Absolutely.
at the wrong sheet.
You're fine. Mr. Turner, do you understand the 2 court date and times you must attend? February 12th and February 19th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. Understood? Yes. Thank you. Away formal reading under plea of not guilty. Just for the people, as soon as Mr. Reagan returns. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Judge, I was looking at the wrong sheet. We still need to interview.
No worries.
We haven't.
He needs to be interviewed.
That's the only person that we have not spoken with, Judge, Mr. Turner.
Okay, can we recall Mr. Turner? We'll put him in camera 4 when it's available. Thank you. Mr. Turner, we're gonna recall this case. We're gonna have you a chance to speak with your attorney in a private setting, and then we'll proceed after you have that interview, okay? Okay. Okay, just step aside and we'll recall you in just a moment. Your name, sir? Thank you. Good afternoon. You're on case number 250555369. People State of Michigan versus Saeed Fuad Al Galam. Appearance for the people.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Good afternoon.
On behalf of Mr. Alam, Your Honor, would waive the formal reading, stand mute. Mr. Al-Galam has been advised of his rights.
For waive formal reading under plea of not guilty, Mr. Galam, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them. Probable cause via Zoom, February 12th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Giles. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, February 19th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Giles. Both on a Wednesday. Understood, sir? Understood? Yes. Thank you. Not guilty. Please enter it on your behalf as the bond from the people.
Your Honor, Mr. Al-Galam, the people are going to ask for a bond of $10,000 cash or surety. Your Honor, this is an assaulted set of allegations, and while Mr. Al-Galam does not have any prior convictions, the allegations here are concerning. Unfortunately, we have a situation here where we have a city, like any major city, has a homeless population without a consistent way to feed themselves. We have a homeless population who sometimes, not everyone, but try to find some way to eat that can lead to retail fraud. And then we have business owners who get frustrated with what they see happening with their businesses. Whatever the solution is to the situation, it can't be beating people, allegedly beating people with a club. Your Honor, this is a situation where the complaining
When this
witness.
took place at his place of employment, is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor, at a gas station. And so, Your Honor, we do have concerns. This is captured by green light camera. Your Honor, a situation where Mr. Al-Galam provided to police a wooden club-like weapon that police indicate in the report was seen on video being used to beat this complaining witness in the head approximately 12 times after Mr. Al-Galam allegedly locked him into the business. So, Your Honor, we've seen people get locked into businesses before for retail fraud, and it tends to be a bad outcome. And Your Honor, Nobody's saying that people can't be frustrated, but beating people with a stick is not allowed. And so, Your Honor, that's why we're asking for that bond, to ensure the safety of the public, as this is a location where the public is invited to come in, and we do not know what could happen to somebody else who comes in and runs afoul of Mr. Algala.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I have similar concerns. What would your being at the business and as you just indicated, having other contact with the public, that what would your position be if I were to release him on a personal and a tether in a house arrest where he wouldn't be able to leave his location unless court or medical? What's your opinion on that?
Your Honor, we think it would address the concern. The reason I was asking for a money bond, it was to not prevent Mr. Algala from working, but that there be some skin in the game that would make him convinced not to commit any offenses if he was inclined to do so. But Your Honor, a personal with tether house arrest would address the concerns as well.
Thank you. Response.
Yeah, Judge, I haven't seen the video. I think that we are getting way ahead of ourselves because we don't know what's on that video. And for 1 minute, if you saw the video, if she saw the video, if we can make a judgment based on what we saw, that's one thing. But we're reading it off a report, Judge, and there's always more.
How am I getting ahead of ourselves? How's the court? I don't need to understand that.
I'm saying we are getting ahead of ourselves with saying, that this video partakes him hitting this man 15 times without talking about anything else that comes with this particular case, Judge. I think that just making that statement, that's just one side of it. That's all I'm saying. It's a figure of speech, Judge. I didn't say Magistrate Jeffrey Kilpatrick is getting ahead of. I didn't say. I said we. It was a figure of speech, Your Honor. So when you how are we getting ahead of ourselves? It's a figure of speech. So
we said we.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody, not Jeffrey Kilpatrick, Judge. I don't want to say that you're doing it. But I think that it's two sides to every story, Judge. I think that it's important not to just look at one side. And I haven't seen the video, Your Honor. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't want to say you have or haven't. But it's going to come out. He's not going to have contact with this person. We're not convicting anybody today. It's not a trial. We're not sentencing anybody. We're just setting bond. And if you tell him, not to have contact, I don't think a cash bond is necessary. I don't think a tether is necessary. I just think a personal bond with no contact right now would suffice until all the facts come out, Judge, not just one side of everything.
Thank you. Mr. Al-Galam, you have good counsel. You've heard advocate well on your behalf, and I've heard from the people as well. I had taken into consideration the nature of this allegation, which is assaultive. You have no history, criminal or cases that I'm aware of. Where I have concerns are the allegations set forth in the investigator's report, and those concerns give me pause and concern regarding the safety of the public if you were to have out with no monetization and no bond. The allegation is that based on an individual indicating in a report that he was hungry or for whatever reason was alleged to have stolen a box of cereal from your location. That escalated into a point, the allegations that apparently were some of this was on Greenlight footage video that alleged that you beating the victim in the back and the head approximately 12 times before handing one of the two weapons to the suspect, and then the suspect again, and the offender beating and kicking the victim. And then the suspect drags the victim out the location by the hood of his clothing. And this is an allegation based on somebody stealing a box of cereal from your location. That allegation, that situation, unfortunately, true or not true, could occur. It happens. And the allegation of the response upon witnessing somebody steal a box of cereal is concerning to the court. That was your response, not only to assault this individual allegedly, but to assault him with a dangerous weapon, allegedly hitting him in the head and back with a weapon 12 times, dragging him and kicking and beating this individual because the allegation is he stole a box of cereal. And that gives me concern regarding the safety of the public in whole, where if somebody were to make a decision of this nature, or you are to end confronted on something of this in the future, the court has concerns regarding how the safety of the individual that could be involved. And given your lack of history, this is a very serious assaultive allegation. The people are asking for a cash surety bond. I'm going to give you a personal bond, given the lack of history, at a $50,000 personal bond. During this bond, sir, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. But prior to being released, you are going to be fit with a GPS tether, and that's going to place you under house arrest. You're not to leave your residency for any reason unless court ordered. And absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Mr. Livingston-Dabbs. No contact of any kind, orally in writing through a third party at his place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. If you leave your residency for any reason or have any contact with this individual, that's a violation of the court's bond, subject to get you picked up without a warrant, have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions, sir? No? Okay, and you're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Let me know whenever you're ready on the Spanish interpreter matter.
Ready,
Mr. Reagan.
ready, Your Honor. We're ready.
Thank you. DDC, at your pleasure to bring number 3, please. Oh, he's on camera 4? Perfect.
The turtle on camera.
Either one, camera 3 or 4, whatever's the easiest for you. Sorry, Magistrate.
Is it possible to release?
Absolutely. I'm just gonna see where they bring this gentleman and I'll release camera 4. Thank you. If we could bring him to camera 3, thank you. 'Cause I'm gonna, thank you.
Mr. Turner is ready to be interviewed on camera 4.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, state your name, please. Oh, Miss Interpreter. Could you state your name, please?
My first name is Antonia. My last name is Vivian, Vivian.
And Miss Vivian, you're certified?
I am qualified.
Qualified,
Spanish, legal Spanish English interpreter.
Okay, and raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm to translate English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Would you have Mr. is it Marcano Xavier? State his name.
Señor, diga su nombre que conste en acta.
José Luis Marcano Chévere.
José Luis Marcano Chévere.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
Court's calling case number 25-055-663-01 FH. People of the state of Michigan versus Jose Luis Marcano Xavier.
Este es el caso 25-055-66-301 FH, el Estado en contra José Luis Marciano Chévere.
Appearances, please.
Introducciones, por favor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, and Magistrate Burton, Spanish interpreter, Miss Vivian, Samuel A. Ragnan, P. 23-157, on behalf of the people.
Buenas tardes, magistrado y su señoría y la señora intérprete, Samuel Ragnan, representando a las personas, número de registro 23157.
Your Honor, Philip Reagan on behalf of Mr. Marcano Xavier would waive the reading, stand mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Phil Reagan representando el señor Marciano Chévere. Vamos a renunciar a la lectura de cargos formal. Él ya sabe sus derechos y va a mantener silencio.
The court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Marcano Xavier.
Este tribunal va a entregar una declaración de ser no culpable para el señor Marciano Chévere.
Mr. Ragnan, what's your position on bond?
¿Y qué es la posición para la fianza?
Okay. The people are asking for a $5,000 personal bond. The defendant was very cooperative and has no record.
Las personas están pidiendo una fianza de $5,000 personal. Este acusado fue muy cooperativo con las personas y no tiene ningún criminal antecedentes.
No objection.
No hay ninguna objeción.
The court will set bond at $5,000 personal
Entonces, este tribunal pone una fianza de $5,000 personal.
and you have bond conditions as follows.
Y usted tiene las siguientes condiciones de fianza.
You are not to possess or purchase a
Puede poseer o comprar ninguna arma peligrosa o tampoco arma de fuego.
You have 2 court dates.
Usted tiene 2 fechas de audiencias.
You have a probable cause conference scheduled for February the 11th at 8:30.
Usted tiene una conferencia de causa probable el 11 de febrero a las 8:30.
And that will be before Judge Robbins.
Y eso va a ser en frente de la juez Robbins.
You are entitled to a preliminary examination, which is scheduled for February 18th at 8:30.
Usted también tiene el derecho de tener una examinación preliminaria que va a ser el 18 de febrero a las 8:30.
Your preliminary exam will be in person before Judge Taylor.
Su examinación preliminaria va a ser en persona en frente del juez Taylor.
Do you understand your bond conditions and your next court dates?
¿Usted entiende sus condiciones de fianza y sus próximas fechas de audiencias? Yes.
Okay. With that, we're done unless there's anything further from you, Mr. Ragnon, or you, Mr. Reagan.
Nothing
Entonces,
further.
No.
Entonces, si no hay nada más del señor licenciado Ragnon y el señor licenciado Reagan, ya se acabó esta audiencia, se terminó todo.
Okay, we're done. You can step aside, Mr. Marcano Shavir, and thank you, Miss Vivian.
Oh, you're welcome. Usted se puede retirar. Gracias.
Thank you, Miss Vivian.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Mr. Reagan, I didn't say good afternoon to you. So good afternoon.
Afternoon, Mr. Reagan.
Thank you.
Sir, state your name, please.
Bernardo Howard.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Howard. You're here on case 2505. Thank you. Case 2505565, People State of Michigan versus Donano William Howard, also known as Donano Howard, parents for the people.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Thank you.
Right on behalf of Mr. Howard, Your Honor, former Reed STEMU, he's been advised of his rights.
Thank you. Corway, formal reading and plea of not guilty. Mr. Howard, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them, probable cause via Zoom. Wednesday, February the 12th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge JK. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, February 19th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge JK. Did you understand those 2 court date and times you must attend, Mr. Howard?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Not guilty, please entered on your behalf as the bond from the people, 8th Court.
Your Honor, the people in this matter are going to request a $50,000 personal bond, no contact with the complainant or the home that they reside in. It appears that they are living boyfriend, girlfriend. In this case, it is charged with unarmed robbery, but it appears to be it's not your typical unarmed robbery, as the court can note, that he did take the phone from her by force, by snatching it. He hit her glasses off her face and then he snatched the phone from her hand and then stomped on it. There were no injuries and medical sought. I do note that he does have an assaulted background. He has an armed robbery, bank robbery from Wisconsin back from the 90s. They didn't even charge that on the habitual. So I think this is a case, this just occurred on the 3rd, as I said, to no contact at all with the home or the complainant, Ms. White. And I would leave whether the court feels a tether is in order, but I'm asking for 50,000 personal with those conditions.
Thank you, APA. Mr. Reagan, response.
Judge, yeah, I would ask for personal as well. My client, delivery driver for a Pepsi, Judge, they, lived together for the last 7 years. He understands, we explained, no contact. He will not have contact with the residents. He understands that. And I would just ask for the personal bond, Judge. I don't think a tether is necessary in this case.
Thank you. Thank you both. Mr. Howard, you've heard advocacy from both counsel, your counsel who did a great job on your behalf as always, and the people. I've reviewed the investigator's report. These are concerning allegations as indicated by the people. No injuries were alleged to have been observed by the officers upon investigation. They assaulted allegations and concerning, and the court believes there is a likelihood of conviction regarding the information alleged. For those reasons, given the lack of injuries and your prior in 1990 as indicated by the people, the court is going to follow the recommendation setting bond at $50,000 personal bond. During this bond, Mr. Howard, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. And during this bond, Mr. Howard, you're not to go back to that Marlowe Street and block in the city of Detroit. You got to find somewhere else to go. And absolutely no contact, no contact with the complaining witness, Ms. White, during this bond. And that's no contact of any kind, orally in writing through a third party at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. You're not to go anywhere near the Marlowe address or Ms. White. I stress those conditions because if you violate, Mr. Howard, regardless of your guilt or innocence, you could get locked back up just for not listening. So it's very important that you listen so you don't get locked up just for not listening. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any, okay, I see your hand raised. Do you have any questions on your court date or bond conditions?
I have no answers on questions about my court date, but I do have questions about, that's where I live at. I have my work, I have CDLs.
Let me say this, Mr. Howard.
Let's have a person, Judge, a family member or a friend go
Absolutely.
retrieve his belongings so that he can have an opportunity to do that, Judge. And we will
I don't have
discuss that with
anything.
him. We'll discuss that with him. Camera 4.
Okay, that is,
And
thank you, Mr. Reagan. Mr.
And my
Howard.
car is parked there too. My car's parked in front of the house.
Mr. Howard, okay, I appreciate it. Let me answer this and I'll answer it if you have any more questions. You're not to go back to that location. You can have a friend or family member go retrieve your belongings. I don't know whose vehicle that is. You can get your belongings. I don't know if this is yours or hers, but your belongings, a friend or family member can go retrieve. You're not to go back to that location or have any contact with the complaining witness. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Howard?
Nothing further, thank you.
Judge.
Thank you. All right, thank you both. All right, you have any more questions, Mr. Howard? If not, you're all set.
Well, I mean, is it possible that I could have the police take me there to get my stuff?
No, you're not to go back to that location, sir. Friend or family member can go get your belongings, but I don't want you anywhere near that location.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Good luck. Good afternoon, sir. Your name? Thank you, Mr. Bush. You're here for a couple of reasons, Mr. Bush. We're going to go through them one at a time. First, you have some warrants for your arrest for failing to appear at the 36th District Court. On these matters, Mr. Bush, you'll be released on a personal bond, no dollar amount, and I'm scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend March the 5th. That's a Wednesday, March 5th via Zoom, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Yancey. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Bush, as with any criminal matter, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say or in writing can and will be against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will appoint you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights, Mr. Bush?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. This is regards to ticket number SP 1462132, June 27th, 2023, illegal dumping. SP 1469875, June 14th, 2023, count 1, no insurance and misdemeanor on a 013 Ford, count 2, drive while license suspended. SP 1481219, July 21st, 2023, count 1, drive while license not valid or improper license, count 2, no insurance misdemeanor on a 2013 Ford. SP 1521750, December 23rd, 2023, drive while license not valid or improper license. SP 1551510, February 20th, 2024, count 2, drive while unlicensed. This is a reissue of U 678-45123. Receiving and admitting working. He stated he paid a working prostitute $20 in exchange for fellatio. Ticket V100687, July 19, 2016, failed to surrender a dog for rabies after an individual was bitten. And V100688, same date, time, and location, harboring an unlicensed dog. These are all misdemeanor allegations carrying up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail as a maximum fine and penalty. The offer to engage the service for another for the act of prostitution carries a mandatory minimum 45 days in jail if found guilty as charged. Recall warrant, set aside capious, enter a not guilty plea on the open matters. As a reminder, pretrial via Zoom, Judge Yancey on March the 5th, 8:30, 36th District Court. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, state your name again. You have an additional matter.
Curtis Bush.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bush.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Calling case number 25-0443-5501 SM, People of the State of Michigan versus Curtis Leon Bush, also known as Curtis Bush. Appearances, please.
Good afternoon again, Steve Vincent for the people.
And Your Honor, breaking on behalf of Mr. Bush, waive the reading, stand mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. I will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Bush. Mr. Vincent, what's your position on bond?
Magistrate, my position is we're not going to be objecting to a personal. We are going to be asking for monitorization as well as a curfew. It's based on the charge, which is assaultive in nature, and the allegations, which are also assaultive. I'm sure you read the allegations here. We have a defendant allegedly assaulting the mother of his child as a result of cheating, infidelities, what have you. But then we have the corroboration, where the police ended up observing the bruising on the complainant's cheeks, which would corroborate the idea that he ended up hitting her on both sides of her face. The monitorization also, magistrate, we're asking for monitorization because I did notice in the records that there was a report made against this defendant by the complainant on December 28th of 2024 for assault as well. And that's under 241228-0277. That's the case ID for the Detroit police. So based on it, and I'm sure you also saw in the allegations, in the investigator's report, that there were uploaded images of the complainant's injuries. I didn't have access to those. If I did, I would have forwarded them to you. So I apologize about that. Regarding priors, I have the defendant with a prior CCW attempt that was pled down from a CCW in April of 2016. So again, the tether is based on the assaultive nature, based on the fact that the police were previously involved about a month and a half prior regarding an alleged assault between these two parties. And based on the injuries, we do feel as though the defendant poses a danger to the complainant, asking for that tether.
Mr. Reagan, your response, please.
Yeah, Judge, no assaultive criminal convictions. Judge has 3 children, works every day, Judge, lives in the city, has strong ties, not a flight risk. It's a misdemeanor DV, Judge. Again, even if he were to plead guilty tomorrow, I'm not saying he's guilty at all. He'd probably get probation, wouldn't spend a day in jail behind this judge, may do batter's counseling at worst. Wouldn't be on a tether. So I'm asking the court judge to grant personal bond, no contact, and probably, get 76948, where it'd probably be, dismissed off his record, Judge. So I don't know. I'm just saying that that's a possibility. But regardless, I don't think a tether is necessary in this. I'm just asking for the personal bond at this time, Judge.
Okay, have a couple of questions, Mr. Reagan.
Yes, ma'am.
He was residing with the complainant at the Murray Hill location.
Yes, Judge.
Does he have somewhere else he could reside?
And I will let Mr. Bush tell you that. Mr. Bush, you do have another place you can reside, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's
Okay. And you'll have to make arrangements relating to parenting time with the children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the court is going to impose a $25,000 personal bond. The court, I want to ask you, was your client working?
because he is. He works 8 a.m., 5 p.m. every day. His last 10 years, he's a barber by trade.
The court is going to set a bond at $25,000 personal. I'm not going to impose a tether. However, Mr. Bush, you cannot have any contact with Anita Jeter.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not to enter the Murray Hill location. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
The independency of this case, you are not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you understand those conditions that have been imposed by the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you also have some additional, one additional court date. You have a pretrial that's scheduled for February the 13th at 8:30. That will be before Judge Garrett here in the 36th District Court. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And remember your court date on your tickets as well, sir, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything further from the people?
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Magistrate.
Okay, how about you, Mr. Reagan?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Bush. Have a good afternoon.
Come on, brother. Yo.
Your name, please?
Danny Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. And Mr. Turner, this is a recall. You've had a chance to talk to your attorney in a private setting, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Turner, recall case 250556664. People said Mitch was Leonard Turner, also as Leonard Turner appearance for the people.
Thank you, Magistrate. Again, Steve Vincent for the people, P71917.
Thank you, sir.
On behalf of Mr. Turner, waive the formal reading stamp duty. He's been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. Turner, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them. Probable cause via Zoom, February the 12th. That's on a Wednesday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. You have a right to a preliminary examination the following Wednesday, February the 19th, 8:30 in person, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. Both on a Wednesday, February 12th, February 19th. Understood, Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Not guilty, waive formal reading under plea of not guilty on your behalf as the bond from the people.
Magistrate, this is unfortunate, but the people have no other choice. We're going to be asking for a $10,000 cash surety bond here. The defendant's shown now that he's a danger. I would like to bring to your magistrate's attention that this defendant just had a prior felonious assault case dismissed. That had to do with this defendant allegedly pulling out a knife on a different grandson. That grandson didn't appear for the exam. The case was dismissed December 27th of last year. And as you can see in these allegations, we have the same types of circumstances. But in this particular instance, we have defendant's wife, who is the complainant's grandmother, who actually is coming to the grandchild's safety, telling him to lock himself in his bedroom as she calls the police. And the police come and they find the knife. Allegedly, he was threatening the minor grandson with the knife. And this isn't the first time. In addition to that case that was just dismissed, it appears as though, based in the investigator's report, that both the defendant's wife as well as the grandchild minor have said that this defendant has done this previously. In fact, I think the defendant's wife went so far as to say that this is the defendant's MO, which is to pull out knives. In order to protect the safety of the complainant in this matter, as well as anyone else, we feel as though a cash bond is necessary here. I can appreciate the age of this defendant, but my job is to protect, or at least make an argument to protect the complainant based on any assaultive nature. And it's clear that this defendant is being assaultive, and he posed a serious danger in this matter.
Thank you, APA. It sounds like he has no convictions, assaultive convictions. Apparently, or at least the information I have, they reside at different locations. What would your opinion be? I have concerns about safety of these individuals. What would your concerns or position be if I were to impose a personal bond and a tether house arrest where he wouldn't be allowed to leave the home? Mr. Leonard, pay attention to the court. It's very important you listen to these things, Mr. Leonard. Sorry, Mr. Turner, sorry, APA.
No, you don't have to apologize. Unfortunately, my pushback on that is both of these instances have taken place at his home. So we're putting him back to the place of incident. I mean, the previous case happened at his house. This happened at his house. That's why I was asking for the cash and not for some type of house arrest.
I appreciate that. Thank you for pointing that out. I do see that. But it doesn't appear that this complaining witness, this minor, resides at that location, correct? So do you know if anybody lives with Mr. Turner or any of these complaining witnesses, or
Well, I know the previous grandson was staying there. I don't know for what extent of time. I know that this grandchild was allegedly staying there. Actually, I think the report, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, went so far as to say he didn't have anywhere else to go. And that's why he was staying at the defendant's house with his grandmother. So
no, continue.
Well, that's pretty much the extent of it. I think he was staying there because of extraordinary circumstances. But we
This
have
complaining witness was staying there, is your understanding?
Yes.
I see that.
This isn't
It's
easy.
kind of it's kind of no. It's kind of the relationship in the investigator's report. It's a little confusing. If you could clarify, it says the defendant had care custody of defendant.
Yeah, I think they just meant that second defendant as the complainant grandchild.
What second defendant?
Well, you mentioned defendant twice. I'm just assuming that when they said the defendant had care and custody of defendant, they ended up meaning the complainant grandchild.
Right. So it's your possible position, or it's your understanding that the defendant has care and custody of this minor child, or this child who's residing at this point in time at that location.
I'm sorry, magistrate. I can't give you a definitive one way or another. I can just talk about what I know, what you see, what's in the report. And it appears as though he was staying at that residence. I don't know for how long. I don't know determined into the future. I don't know those answers.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the responses. I appreciate that. Mr. Reagan, response, and if you do you know if the complaining witness is residing at the defendant's location? It looks like it is here.
Yeah, Judge, I believe he has custody of his grandson. He has custody of the judge and takes care of him at his home. Now, you know, Mr. Turner can go stay at his niece's house, so he doesn't have to be.
Well, I'm not, are you talking about Leonard Turner?
Yeah, Leonard.
The defendant? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just wanted to make
At
sure.
his niece's house, if he needs to. So there's no contact right now until this can get.
And then Mr. Reagan, that niece's house is not where these complaining witnesses stay. Is that accurate?
Well, it's my understanding the complaining witnesses stay with Mr. Turner and his wife.
That's what I see too. Okay.
At Hoover.
Okay, thank you. Continue, Mr. Reagan.
Yeah, Judge, my client is retired from Chrysler 35 years, 79 years of age, does have some medical issues. I note that, there were no injuries here. I note that the complainant stated that there were things that I guess his grandmother said. There were other things that I guess she said as well, Judge. It's a not the greatest situation. I don't know the gist of it. I don't know the dynamics, the everyday things that happen. But right now, while this matter's pending, contact would be the provision, and he can go stay at his niece's house. And I would just ask the court judge to grant a personal bond with the no contact provision, Judge.
Thanks. Both. Okay, Mr. Turner, given that this is an assault allegation with a dangerous weapon allegations, assault on a very young individual, where you allege to have assaulted him with a knife. I've reviewed the investigator's report. There are concerns regarding this individual's safety. If you were to go back to the location and reside with this individual, I do have concerns regarding his safety. Taking into consideration lack of assaultive history, convictions, or capious history, I appreciate your counsel's advocacy regarding an alternate residence where you can stay with your niece. And I believe staying in an alternate residence with some monitorization where you're not able to leave that residence will properly protect the safety of this complaining witness. For those reasons, bond is going to be set in part recommended by your counsel, $30,000 personal bond with the following conditions. During this bond, there's no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. No weapons, Mr. Turner, and that includes knives. You're not to have any contact with the Goulburn Street or the Hoover Street. You're gonna have to go stay with your niece outside of those locations till told otherwise. You're gonna have to go back to those locations. And absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Mr. Turner. That's no contact of any kind, orally, in writing, through a third party, at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. And to ensure there's no contact and that these individuals are safe, you are to be fit with a GPS tether before release, and I will place you under house arrest at your niece's house. You're only to leave that residency for medical appointments and court only. You're not to go anywhere near the Hoover Street, Goulburn Street, or the complaining witness. If you do, that's a violation of the bond, subject to get you picked up without a warrant and have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. You're gonna have to stay at your niece's house away from these complaining witness and location till told otherwise by a judge. Mr. Turner, do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions?
No.
Look, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Turner, do you have a question?
Yeah, you leave out. Is there an officer right there, Mr. Turner? Or is somebody standing there directing you?
Hello,
Hello, good afternoon. Your name, please.
my name is Juwan Pitter.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Pitter. Calling case number 25-055-66601 FH. The people of the state of Michigan versus Dwayne Pitter. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragland for the people, Your Honor.
Philip Reagan, Pitter, Your Honor, waived the formal reading, stand mute. He's been advised of his rights, Judge.
Will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Pitter. As it relates to bond, Mr. Ragland.
Your Honor, the people are gonna ask for $5,000 personal bond. I don't believe he has a record and he was cooperative.
No objection, Your Honor.
Court will set bond in the amount of $5,000 personal. Mr. Pitter, during the pendency of this case, you will have a bond condition of you shall not possess or purchase a firearm or other dangerous weapon. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one moment.
Option to request. Can I suggest something right now? When do I get a chance to ask?
Okay, Mr. Pitter, you have 2 court dates. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for February the 11th at 8:30. That will be before Judge Robbins, and that will be by Zoom, okay? You also have the right to a preliminary examination. That is scheduled for February the 18th at 8:30, and that will be in person before Judge Giles. Do you understand those court dates, sir?
Yes, ma'am. If I could ask, what involves the preliminary examination?
You can speak to Mr. Ragland, I'm sorry, Mr. Reagan about that,
Judge,
or
If
someone
he
else. in
wants to
his-
go to
his
camera
office.
4, we'll call on camera 4 and we'll talk to him on camera.
Mr. Reagan.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, any other questions, Mr. Pitter?
Can I get this?
About your court
list?
date? Only about your court date. No, sir, you have a bond, and just make sure that you appear for your court dates, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Please put him on camera for
Thank you.
EDC. Thank you.
Oh,
This is the next guy, so I'm just getting ready.
Oh, that's Pitter.
Okay. Good afternoon. Your name, please.
Anthony,
Thank you, Mr. Maddox. Thank you, Mr. Maddox. Good afternoon. You're here for a couple of reasons. We'll go through them one at a time, so listen closely. First, you have matters. We have warrants for your arrest for failing to appear. I'm going to release you on a personal bond, no dollar amount, scheduling a pretrial date.
Repeat that, sir. Release me on the first of March. I want to go to the, they're trying to give me the team work program for sure, but they don't hold it. I get disability, but I haven't had a disability check.
Mr. Maddox,
Maddox, just listen,
slow
just
down.
listen.
I didn't catch probably 90% of that. And so just let me give you some information, Mr. Maddox, and I'll answer whatever questions you have, but they're gonna have to be one at a time questions and slowly so I can understand, okay? But first, I just want you to listen because maybe what I tell you will answer some of your questions. So you need to listen, okay? Okay. So, and then you can answer questions. Just listen at this point. Mr. Maddox, I'm scheduling a pretrial date, March the 6th. That's at 8:30 via Zoom on a Thursday in front of Judge Wagner, 8:30 at the 36th District Court. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Maddox, as with any criminal matter, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. Right to an attorney at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will appoint you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights?
Yes, officer. Thank
you. One moment. Okay, one moment, sir. Let me finish up. So on these matters, Mr. Maddox, you're going to be released on a personal bond, no dollar amount. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, one moment.
They can't even, Mark, they ain't getting the team learning program.
Okay, Mr. Maddox, listen, I'm still not finished. Listen up, I'll give you a chance. You're being released, but just listen to the charges. I'm going to tell you what your charges are while you're here, okay? This is in regards to complaint U 660-41723, Wednesday, October 18th, 2023, consuming alcohol in public. During this bond, no drinking alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. Ticket SP 1630965, October 10th, 2024, trespassing at or near Plymouth in Wyoming. Complaint U 688-20524, Friday, July 26, 2024, possession of drug paraphernalia, glass crack pipe. Case 24767-658, July 26, 2024, retail fraud, 3rd degree. And ticket number 24767-659, July 26, 2024, retail fraud, 3rd degree. These are all misdemeanor allegations that carry up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail as a maximum fine and penalty. Recall warrant set aside. You're almost there, Mr. Maddox. You was almost listening. I was almost to your point, just almost. Okay, you're almost there. I'm recalling any warrant set aside capious enter a not guilty plea. These are misdemeanors carrying up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail. Mr. Maddox, on these matters, you're being released on a personal bond. You don't have to post money. You just have to show up for your pretrial March the 6th in front of Judge Wagner via Zoom. Understood? Yes, sir. You can either come down, but it's scheduled via Zoom. But if you can't figure that out, you come downtown, as you stated, 36th District Court. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Not guilty plea is continued. One moment. Don't say anything, Mr. Maddox, Mr. Reagan, or APA Douglas. I have a question for you. Do you know if Mr. Maddox had any criminal cases in Highland Park?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Right now?
Not to my
Did he ever?
my knowledge,
Okay.
Judge.
Right now?
Okay, what? No, did he in the past? Because I want to make sure that there's no conflict of interest with the court, with magistrate person.
Your Honor, I'm not sure. I know there were a number of cases, retail fraud cases in the past, but I'm not sure that they were Highland Park. I can check. I can look again because I didn't check the locations.
Yeah, please check. Yep, to see if anything's in the past in Highland Park. Thank you.
Here's my paperwork. I need to go to King Lunch, so this is really easy.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to handle this matter. Just we're going to err on the side of caution. Magistrate Burton believes that she may have been involved in a matter regarding him in Highland Park. Maybe may not. I'm going to handle it just to be safe. Okay. All right. State your name again, Mr. Maddox. You have one additional case, sir.
Anthony Maddox.
Thank you, sir. This is on case 250-44354, People State of Michigan versus Anthony Lamar Maddox, also as Anthony Lamar Maddox, Anthony Maddox, Anthony Lamar Maddox. Appearance for the people.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Right on behalf of Mr. Maddox, waive the reading stand music for the advisor is right.
Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. On this matter, Mr. Maddox, I'm scheduling a pretrial you must attend via Zoom February 13th. That's on a Thursday, 8:30, Judge Jones, 36th District Court. Understood, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Not guilty, please entered on your behalf as the bond from the people.
Your Honor, Mr. Maddox, the people will not object to a personal bond. His lien is showing a mental order from December of 23, and that was placed under a guardian.
Okay, Mr. Maddox, one moment, sir. I can't hear both people at the same time, so let's be quiet and be respectful to Ms. Douglas, APA Douglas, so I can hear her. I apologize, APA, go ahead.
I was saying that his lien shows that he had a mental order in December of 23, with him being placed under a guardianship. And people aren't going to object to a personal, so that Mr. Maddox can make any sort of appointments for any services or different things he may need.
No objection.
Okay, Mr. Maddox, this is a not assaultive allegation. I've heard advocacy from both parties, reviewed the investigator's report. For those reasons, I'm releasing you on a $10,000 personal bond. You'll be released. You don't have to post any money. Welcome. During this bond, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to go back to the Walgreens on Jefferson in Detroit, Michigan. Stay away from that area. And you must take all doctor prescribed medications. Anything the doctor prescribed, you, I want you to take it, okay? And you're being released. Make sure and show up to court, Mr. Maddox. Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions? Good luck, sir. Good luck. You're welcome.
State your name, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. McCormick. Calling case number 25-044-11801 SM. The people of the state of Michigan versus Jerry, Gerry McCormick. Appearances, please.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Philip Reagan on behalf of Mr. McCormick, waive the reading stamp mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. McCormick. Ms. Coyle, what's your position as it relates to bond?
Your Honor, I do not see a criminal history for Mr. McCormick. He is 69 years old. It appears this is a place that he resides at, and he broke a window. I also read some reports that said he's a vet with possible issues regarding possible service. So no objection to a personal bond in this matter.
No objection, Judge.
No objection, Mr. Reagan?
No, Your Honor.
Court will set bond in the amount of $5,000 personal. Mr. McCormick.
Yeah.
You are not to enter the medical court apartments. Now, you have somewhere else that you can reside?
My stuff is there. My personal items. Important documents are in there.
One moment, please.
That's what today. Let me get up.
I'll throw 5,000 person buy, you showing something different.
Okay, Ms. Coyle. So this incident takes place where he lived.
That is correct.
Has anybody conferred with the apartment building or the manager regarding this incident?
Are you asking, did I call them? No.
I'm just asking if you know any notes reflected in PDK as to whether or not they conferred with them.
No, there's nothing in there that says anything about them speaking to them. All I could say, that's why I went into the police reports, because it appears that this is not normal behavior, and And so there was one of the residents there that told officers that he's a veteran with possible post-traumatic issues. But there was nothing as far as anything else in the file, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Coyle.
You're welcome.
Mr. Reagan, can you
Yes.
certainly inquire about another location
Well,
that
Judge-
Mr. McCormick could go to?
Well, Judge, I'd ask that he be able to go back home. I mean, this is a, he wasn't evicted. He wasn't, I don't know if he was kicked off of the property or not. I would note that it's alleged that he damaged the window of one of the units. He lives in another unit, and obviously he's innocent until proven guilty. This is an ongoing matter, Judge. That's where he lives, Judge, and he is a veteran. That is true, Judge, so, I would just ask that he be told to have no, I don't know how you even word it, Judge, because it's a crime, an alleged crime against property, alleged, and he's, again, innocent. So, I mean, I'm just asking that he be able to go home, come to court and deal with this particular case.
So the court was concerned, you didn't inquire as to whether or not he had another location.
So
he could
I
go to.
don't believe he does. Mr. McCormick, and I'm sorry, Your Honor, I apologize. Mr. McCormick, do you have another place that you can go and stay?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't think.
That's my only place.
Your Honor, I would just ask at this point until further is noted. It appears that they've had issues with him on prior occasions. And that this was not his apartment that he swung the crowbar at. It was, obviously it's a window. He didn't swing it at anybody. I do not see anything to that nature in any of the reports. But obviously that it's on, allegedly someone videotaped it. So I would ask until his pretrial or whatever that somebody can be spoken to, maybe that he finds a place to stay somewhere else temporarily, because it does become a danger to the people, or perceived danger to the people there. They did call the police, and they've had incidences in the past.
So, Mr. McCormick, thank you, Ms. Coyle, Mr. Reagan.
You're welcome.
Mr. McCormick, sir, I know you're a veteran and we do thank you for your service, but the court is concerned about what's happening at that particular apartment, and these, allegations are concerning. So you have a personal bond, but sir, you cannot go back there. This matter can be addressed at your next court date. Hopefully they'll have more information from the apartment staff. But at this point, sir, you cannot go back to that location.
I have personal items there. I have my brackets there. I have everything on me.
Okay, do you have family members or friends that could assist you in retrieving some items from that location?
Yes.
Okay, well, allow your family member or friends to help you to get some things from that location until there's more information regarding what's going on at that complex.
Okay, they took my keys too. So I couldn't even get in front pickup.
Okay, so Mr. Reagan, he might want to confer with your office a little more.
Yeah, Judge, I don't.
You guys want to talk back to him?
Keys. I don't know who took his keys.
Okay.
We'll have to see
Okay.
about that.
All right, so Mr. McCormick, you have a pretrial that's scheduled for February the 13th at 8:30. That's before Judge Bryant. Now that court date will be by Zoom, okay? And you'll be given information before you leave the detention center. So make sure you get that and make sure you know when to appear on Zoom for your next court date, okay? Okay. Is there anything else from you, Ms. Coyle?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, how about you, Mr. Reagan?
Not right this second, Judge. No, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, step aside, Mr. McCormick, and have a good afternoon, sir. Yes.
Good afternoon, your name?
Tommy Vaughn.
Tommy Vaughn. Good afternoon, Mr. Vaughn. You're here for a couple of reasons. You have a number of warrants for your arrest for failing to appear, which we'll handle first. On these matters, you will receive a personal bond, no dollar amount. I'm scheduling a pretrial via Zoom. You must attend March 10th. That's a Monday via Zoom, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Williams. A personal bond, no dollar amount. Understood?
Yes, sir.
As with any criminal matter, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. Right to an attorney when present at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights, sir?
Yes, sir.
During this bond, there's to be no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, and no driving for any reason. You're not to drive any vehicle. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Vaughn, this is in regards to ticket numbers, case numbers. 197033317, December 4th, 2019, count 1. Drive while license suspended. Count 2, no insurance on an 05 Chevy. SP 1387241, October 13th, 2022. Count 2, failed to display valid license not on person. SP 1099053. July 27th, 2020, drive while license not valid or improper license. SP 1259934, October the 11th, 2021. Count 1, drive while license suspended. Count 2, improper plates. SP 1266929, October 21st, 2021. Count 1, drive while license suspended. SP 1286907, December 4th, 2021. Count 2, drive while license suspended. SP 1290683, count 1, drive while license suspended on or about December 13th, 2021. SP 1298043, October 1st, 2022. Count 1, drive while license not valid or improper license. SP 1298403, January 6th, 2022. Count 1, drive unregistered untitled motor vehicle. Count 2, no insurance, a misdemeanor on a 2012 Chrysler. Count 3, improper plates. SP 1298417, January 6, 2022, drive while license not valid or improper license. SP 1314613, February 15, 2022, drive while license suspended. SP 1376343, July 31st, 2022, drive while license suspended. Count 1, count 2, improper plates. SP 14027, SP 1402782, November 1st, 2022. Count 1, drive unregistered untitled motor vehicle. Count 2, no insurance and misdemeanor on 07 GMC. Count 3, improper plates. SP 1403569, November 1st, 2022, drive while license not valid or improper license. SP 1412179, December 23rd, 2022, count 1, failed to display valid license not on person. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor on 07 GMC. Count 3, drive unregistered untitled motor vehicle. SP 1520531, November the 10th, 2023. Count 2, drive unregistered or untitled motor vehicle. Count 3, failed to display valid license not on person. Count 1 is a civil infraction. SP 1583099, August 8, 2024. Count 1, drive while license suspended. Count 2, failed to display valid license not on person. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor on 2012 Chrysler. SP 1585065, August the 10th, 2024. Failed to display valid license not on person. SP 1616774, August 30th, 2024. Count 1, drive unregistered untitled motor vehicle. Count 2, improper plates. Count 3, drive while license suspended. SP 1616813, August 30th, 2024. Count 1, no insurance misdemeanor, 2012 Chrysler. Count 2, open alcohol in the motor vehicle as a driver. SP 1629384, October 12th, 2024. Count 1, no insurance misdemeanor, 07 Cadillac. Count 3, drive while license suspended. Count 2 is a civil infraction. SP 126, strike that, SP 1629743, October 12th, 2024, improper plates. And SP 1629739, October 12th, 2024, open alcohol in a motor vehicle as a driver. These are all misdemeanor allegations, Mr. Vaughn, that carry up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail as a maximum fine and penalty. Recall warrant, set aside capious, enter a not guilty plea on the open matters. As a reminder, Mr. Vaughn, you are not to drive any motor vehicle for any reason, regardless of what you believe the status of your license is, or regardless of the nature, you're not to drive a vehicle for any reason in the city of Detroit or anywhere in the state of Michigan. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Recall order, set aside KPS Center a not guilty plea on those open matters, as they do carry up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail. Mr. Vaughn, those will be heard in front of Judge Williams via Zoom, March the 10th, which is a Monday, 8:30, 36th District Court, again via Zoom. Mr. Vaughn, you have an additional case. State your full name again, please. State your name one more time.
Tommy Nathaniel Levon.
Thank you. In this case, 240600245, People State of Michigan versus Tommy Nathaniel Levon, also known as Tommy Nathaniel Levon, Tommy Nathaniel Vaughn, Armani Taylor Hatchett. Parents for the people.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent, P71917.
Right, on behalf of Mr. Bond, Your Honor, waive the reading, stand mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Thank you, Mr. Reagan. Court waive formal reading and plead not guilty. Mr. Vaughn, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both probable cause via Zoom Friday, February 14th at 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Taylor. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person the following Friday, February 21st. That'd be in person, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Taylor. Understood, Mr. Vaughn?
Yes, Your Honor.
Not waive formal reading and plead not guilty as the bond from the people. APA Vincent.
Magistrate, we do feel as though this defendant poses a level of danger to the community. We're not going to be objecting to the personal. We are going to be asking for monitorization as well as a curfew. Those last 3 tickets that you ended up arraigning this defendant on, they were associated with this case, the open alcohol, the driving without a license, and he's actually failed to appear twice already on those. This is the 3rd time he's, where I guess he's here now, but not because, involuntary. He's here as a direct result of this incident. And Judge, I do want to let you know that the warrant was entered on this about 18 days after the incident. So even though this incident date was October 13th of 24, the warrant was filed about 2.5 weeks after that. And the allegations, as you can see, and I'm sure defense counsel has read them, they're crazy in and of themselves. The police end up responding to somebody, a person over the wheel, only to find the defendant at the scene. He doesn't have the right plates. He doesn't have the right registration. There's an open bottle of alcohol in the car. The police try to, calm this defendant down. He gets sent off of, the area scene only to sneak back into the tow truck and try to steal the registration back. And then the police see him and he starts running and there's pursuit and there are multiple taser deployments. I think it was the 4th taser deployment that ultimately ended up incapacitating the defendant for, the amount of time where the police could detain him. And this is just it. This is part of this defendant's history. This is what he does. He drives without license. He drives, he gets involved with vehicles that aren't his. I have stemming all the way back from 2012. He ended up pleading to being involved in a chop shop. And then in 17, I have a UTA, conspiracy UTA. And in 17, in a different matter, I have a conspiracy UTA, an RCSP motor vehicle. In 19, I have felony forged plates. In 19, I have resisting and obstructing. He actually just got discharged from probation October 22nd of 2024. Actually, I'm just noticing this incident, he was on probation at the time this incident took place for an attempt CCW that was pled down from a CCW.
He's been discharged from that probation? So he picked up a new case and got discharged, or they closed it out?
Yeah, he was discharged October 22nd. I noticed this incident date to be October 13th, which means he was still on probation at the time this incident took place.
Thank you. So you're asking for, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but just a personal and a tether? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, I mean, I have a full page on this. It's better that you do cut me off. Yeah, I'm asking.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue, API.
No. It's you know what? It's getting later. It's getting later into the afternoon. I think I've served my purpose in terms of what I wanted to relay to you and the reasons for the monitorization. I mean, I could argue the flight here. And that would pose a flight risk. I could talk about the tickets, which I'm not going to do because defense counsel is going to, attempt to try to say that those don't have anything to do with this. But I think they do at this point. When you talk about, the tens, if not 20s of tickets that you just said that the defendant has failed to appear, I could talk about the fact that he continues to be on the roadway, which he shouldn't be, unlawfully, uninsured, without any proper registration. I'm not going to do, but then we have police officers in pursuit after they tell him not to do something, and then he does it. So I think all of these things in totality create a level of danger to the community, and respectfully, we're asking for the monitorization.
Thank you. Response, Mr.
One
Reagan,
of the
including,
great-
is your client employed, Mr. Reagan, do you know?
Judge, he drives a tow truck, Judge.
That's ironic.
One of the greatest closing
He
statements.
drives a
He
tow truck?
drives a
No,
tow truck.
he's self-employed, Judge, tow truck.
There's no driving of any tow truck or any kind of trucks or vehicles of any kind, so.
Absolutely no driving, Judge.
Continue, Mr. Reagan.
I'd ask if you get a valid license, Judge. Now, it's an R&O, Judge, 2-year felony. I know he has some priors. Like I said, it was one of the greatest closing statements. But Judge, just for purpose of arraignment, it's an R&O. I don't think a tether's necessary. He's not going anywhere, Judge. He's going to come to court. I just don't think a tether's necessary in this particular case, Judge. He has personal bonds on every last ticket you just read, a personal bond. So, Judge, I just asking for personal on this, and I'm gonna cut it short.
Thank you, Mr.
I think if Mr. Reagan's saying he has personal bonds, can I use that for something if he's on a bond, a personal bond at the time?
You absolutely can, but I think he was referring to those traffic matters that we just handled, not that he was, and I just gave him a personal bond. I believe that's what he was speaking of. Or is that accurate?
It kind of took me off. It kind of took me off guard when he implicated him saying that he drives for a living and he doesn't have a license. So
that's concerning. Yep. Okay, so thank you both. Mr. Vaughn? There's
Your
also the one count of police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. You've heard that both parties advocate. You've got good counsel. You've heard him advocate on your behalf. And you have a lengthy criminal history, which I've taken into consideration. It's apparent that you were on also probation at the time you picked up this allegation, though that's been discharged and taken, apparently no longer on probation. Apparently you were. And now we have allegations, which I have high concerns about flight risk, given the nature of the information alleged in the investigator's report as indicated by the APA. It's alleged that upon investigation, you were in the tow truck, you jumped down, the officer alleged seeing you fled into the backyard. There's allegations of tasers trying to get you into custody, you allegedly ignoring commands, continuing to flee through neighborhoods or the different locations, where you a fourth taser apparently finally effectuated and got you to fall to the ground and taken into custody. I have concerns regarding your intention to follow orders, as in these allegations, it's apparent. Well, these allegations lean heavy towards flight risk. This is a 4 tasers took to take you into custody, and that's a high concern. Also, I have concerns too that the information is that you were you're driving for a living.
Well, hold on, Judge. Stop. Let me not interrupt you. But he owns a tow truck. He owns.
That's not what you said. You said a tow truck. You said drive.
Let me clarify it, Judge. He is self-employed. He owns a tow truck.
That's different. That's different.
Let me be clear on that.
I'm just going by what you told me, Mr. Reagan. You said he drives.
Clarify.
That's a big difference.
That is a difference. I haven't seen him drive. I haven't seen him get behind a wheel, Judge, so I don't know. I just know he owns the truck. I don't want to say that.
Okay. Well, that's what you said, but I appreciate the clarification, Mr. Reagan. That's a difference to the court. Okay. So, Mr. Vaughn, I have concerns regarding your flight risk. And for those reasons, you are going to be, the bond is going to be set as recommended by the people. You'll be released at a $25,000 personal bond. During this bond, no alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons, no driving, period, whatsoever, of any type of vehicle. I think I've made myself clear. And you
Yes,
will
sir.
be fit with the GPS tether prior to being released, placing you under house arrest, given the nature of these allegations. You're not to leave your residency for any reason unless court ordered. If you do, it's a violation of the court's bond. You go to court dates and medical appointments only. If you drive a vehicle for any reason or violate this curfew, you're subject to get picked up without a warrant, have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. There's no driving, and you will be under house arrest until a judge says otherwise. Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, listen to the court, Mr. Vaughn, so you don't get locked up just for not listening. Stop no driving, make sure and show up to court.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you have a question? I seen you raise your hand. If not, you're all set. It's a personal bond. You'll be released after you
Okay,
get
I just wanted to say one thing. It was with the.
Hold on, well, don't say nothing
One
about.
second.
It's okay, it's okay. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Mr. Reagan was probably just gonna tell you to caution what you say because you're being recorded. He don't want you to say anything that could be used against you. So I imagine. Anything else, Mr. Reagan?
No, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, I just didn't want to.
It was
We don't want you to
just. I'm sorry. I get what you were saying about the tether situation, but I have 7 kids, sir, that I take care of. I don't drive the tow truck. You get what I'm saying? I do have people that do for me. You get what I'm saying? But I run the business, sir. Yeah.
Okay, well, you can run it from home. If you're not driving, you can run it from home at this point. But I have concerns for the reasons stated about your intention to appear and follow court orders, given that alleged 4 tethers just to take you into custody. So that's my concern, sir. Anything further?
Nothing from the people.
All right, good luck, Mr. Vaughn.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Ms. McDonald.
Good afternoon, Mr. McDonald. You're in case 250-55668, People State of Michigan versus Douglas Deshaun McDonald Jr. Are you a junior, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Also known as Douglas Deshaun McDonald, Douglas McDonald, Douglas Deshaun McDonald. Appearance for the people.
Family Ragland for the people, Your Honor.
Thank you.
On behalf of Mr. McDonald, Your Honor, waive the reading, stand mute. He's been advised of.
Thank you, sir. Court waive formal reading under the plea of not guilty. I'm scheduling 2 court dates. Mr. McDonald, you must attend both probable cause via Zoom, February 12th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge JK. That's via Zoom. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, February 19th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge JK. Do you understand those 2 court date and times you must attend, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. That's the bond from the people.
People are asking for a $15,000 cash surety bond, Your Honor. If he's able to post a bond, we're going to ask for a tether with house arrest. Very assaultive matter. Allegedly, the defendant took the complaining witness over to visit his father, who had been ill. She was sitting on the couch, and the defendant came over and began to punch her in the face multiple times. He then took off his belt and it hit her multiple times in her face and on her legs with a belt. He then pulls out a knife and threatened to kill her, and takes the knife and hits her with it in the face, and in her body and in the stomach. Yeah, it didn't cut her or stab her, but he's hitting her with the knife or the handle of the knife. The officers were called, and they observed that she had swelling on her right side of her forehead, multiple scratches on her neck. Her right cheek was had abrasions on it. She did have medical care there at the scene. So, Your Honor, extremely assaultive matter. Numerous ways that he assaulted her, 3 different ways at least. And he's got a history, Your Honor. He's got an armed robbery conviction, but he has so many domestic violence cases and assault with endangered weapon cases and so on that he has had
convictions. He's got a lot of those are
not convictions, but he's been arrested for it multiple times. That subsequently were dismissed because the complaining witnesses failed to appear. So it seems to me that that's been a pattern with this defendant. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. So I think a cash bond is important. I think we need to protect this complaining witness for sure, and I'm asking for a tether if he's able to post bond with home arrest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reagan. Response, sir?
Yeah, Judge, my client says it didn't happen that way. That's not anywhere near how it happened. You know, when you have a knife, Judge, generally with knives, you stab people, but you know, there was no stabbing because it wasn't like that, Judge. Obviously, we get one side of the story. I do understand. We're at arraignment. I would ask for no contact, obviously, Judge, while this matter's pending. You know, they do share children together. He's going to go stay with his dad, or he lives with his dad, I should say. So there's no reason for them to have contact whatsoever, Judge. You know, so I am asking for a personal bond with whatever condition. He also helps take care of his father, Judge, who is getting cancer treatments. He's helping with his dad. So I'm asking the court for personal bond, just no contact with the complainant at this time.
Working, Mr. Reagan?
But I just want to mention that the third party that was there, I think observed this, is one who called the police. So they could break this up, Your Honor. So I just believe it's a danger, Your Honor, to the complaining witness and to a number of other people. And this particular complainant has been, he's been arrested before for allegedly domestic violence against this complainant or other charges, assault with a dangerous weapon that subsequently were dismissed.
So maybe this will
Thank
be
you,
this as well, Judge. I don't know. I have no idea. But thank you, Mr. Ragnar, for saying that, you know, he has previous stuff that maybe they make up stuff and then don't show because it didn't happen. I don't know, Judge. I just know he's not working right now, Your Honor. You asked me that question. That was your main question. He's laid off
Yes, sir.
right now,
Thank you.
looking for employment.
Thank you both. So, Mr. McDonald Jr., both serious allegations. I signed the warrant, so I'm familiar with this matter. You do have a previous criminal history and assaultive conviction. The court notes that, well, apparent date was in 2009 for an armed robbery, and I do note the date on that. These allegations took place roughly 2 days ago. I have a number of concerns regarding these allegations. Allegations apparently escalated. We have allegations that you walked over, punched the young woman in the face multiple times. Then it's alleged it escalated to you grabbing a belt and striking this young woman multiple times on her face and legs. Yet again, allegations as it continues to escalate, where you grab a knife, and then threats on the individual's life are brought into the investigative reports. Allege you threatened to kill her and began to assault her in the face and stomach with a knife. Never cut or stab, to be noted. The officers alleged to have observed abrasions on the young woman's right cheek, swelling on the right side of her forehead, and multiple scratches by her neck where she was treated by medics. So I have concerns that you have an assaultive history. You have allegations of assault that had escalated throughout this period of time to assault with a hand, assault then to a belt, then to a knife. And while this escalation took place, and while apparently you were in possession of a dangerous weapon, you threatened to kill this individual. Given your criminal history, the allegations of assault, the escalation the court finds concerning, in order to send an unaffordable cash bond, Mr. McDonald Jr., the court must find by clear and convincing evidence you are either a flight risk and or a danger to a particular individual or a community. Here, the court finds by clear and convincing evidence, given your previous history, escalation of these allegations, the allegations of threat to kill this individual while escalating of multiple assaults, apparent injuries as alleged observed by the officers. The court does find by clear and convincing evidence you are a danger to Ms. Lewis, finds a personal or nominal bond will not adequately protect her safety. For that reason, the court is setting an intentional unaffordable cash surety bond as recommended by the people of $15,000 cash or surety. During this bond, Mr. McDonald, there is no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. You're not to go anywhere near that Lampford Street address. No contact with Miss Lewis, and that's no contact of any kind, orally in writing through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with the complaining witness. If you have any contact or violate the court's order in any way, you are fit with a tether that is subject to get you picked up without a warrant, have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. Is that unaffordable, Mr. Reagan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm settling an unaffordable bond redetermination, Mr. McDonald Jr., 2 days from today in front of Chief Judge McConaughey or someone in his stead, February 6th, 2025, 9 a.m. via Zoom. If you're unable to post that bond, you'll see the Chief Judge or someone in his stead, and you'll have a defense counsel present able to re-argue bond at that point. I know your counsel noted you're unemployed, looking for an employment. If you're able to gain employment, I am indicating work release, work only, if you're able to provide employment to the tether unit. Mr. McDonald, do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions?
No question.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mr. McDonald. Welcome. You're all set unless you have any questions, sir.
Okay,
Go ahead.
that's it. So would you state your name, please?
I'll tell you the same.
Oh, Mr. Cheney, good afternoon, sir. You're here for a couple of reasons. We'll go through them one at a time. First, you have a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear at the 36th District Court. On those matters, you'll be released on a personal bond, no dollar amount. I'm scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend March the 11th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Kennedy. Understood?
Oh, yeah.
As with any, is that a yes?
Yes.
As with any criminal matter, Mr. Cheney, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. Right to an attorney at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights, Mr. Cheney?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. It's ticket number SP 1174701, March the 11th of 2021. Count 1, failed to display valid license not on person. Ticket numbers SP 1317790 on about March 21st of 2022. Count 1, driver license suspended. Count 2, no insurance or misdemeanor on a 2015 Chevy. Ticket number SP 1321687, February 28th of 2022. Count 1, driver license suspended. Count 2, no insurance or misdemeanor on a 2015 Chevy. SP 1518421, November the 4th of 2023. Count 1, driver license suspended. Count 2 is a civil infraction. SP 1649457, November the 25th, 2024. Count 1, driver license suspended. Repeat offender. Count 2, failed to display valid license not on person. These are misdemeanor allegations. Mr. Cheney, carrying up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail is a maximum fine and penalty. Recall warrant set aside capious enter a not guilty plea. As a reminder, personal bond, no dollar amount, pretrial via Zoom, Judge Kennedy, March the 11th on a Tuesday at the 36th District Court, 8:30. Understood, Mr. Cheney?
Yes, sir.
State your full name again. You have an additional case, sir.
Martez Lamar Cheney.
Thank you. It's case 2504436, People State of Michigan versus Martez Lamar Cheney, also known as Lamar Cheney, appearance for the people.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, please 72748.
We'll bring it on behalf of Mr. Cheney, waive the formal reading stem mute. He's been advised of his rights. Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Court away formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. Cheney, I'm scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend February 13th. That's a Thursday at 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Austin Garrett. Understood? Understood?
Yes.
Thank you. So not guilty, please entered on your behalf as to bond from the people.
Your Honor, Mr. Cheney, the people wouldn't object to 25,000 personal, but we would ask for no contact, and we would ask for a teller to ensure no contact. Your Honor, here's the situation that while it's charged as domestic violence, there's an allegation of 3 separate incidents of strangulation, in addition to the slapping in the face several times. Your Honor, a description of a sustained and prolonged attack. This complaining witness states that she is in fear for her life. These two live together. They have a child in common, so it's more likely that there would be possible contact in the future. So, Your Honor, for that reason, we wouldn't object to 25,000 personal, but we would ask for no contact and a tether.
Judge,
Go ahead, Mr. Reagan.
and I was just going to say, Judge, we'd agree on a personal bond. I don't think a tether is necessary in this situation, Your Honor. I don't see history. My client works at Amazon. You know, he has 4 kids. He understands no contact. I understand, you know, these are allegations, but I am asking for the personal, as Mr. Douglas said, I just don't think a tether is necessary in this situation. It
And
just-
Thank you, Mr. Reagan, and I'm tending to agree with you, sir, because these are serious assaultive allegation, escalation as well. But it's indicated by the officer that there are no injuries observed. And that's after the allegation of slapping complainant in the face several times, strangling her twice from the front, and another strangulation from the rear, to a point where the defendant fainted, and the officers were observed no injuries. So that's taken into consideration also with his lack of history, criminal cases or otherwise. These are assaultive allegations, but with no injuries observed upon investigation, the court's comfortable setting bond 25,000 personal bond, given the lack of history and the nature of this misdemeanor allegation. During this bond, no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. You're not to go back to the Gable Street address, Mr. Cheney, during this bond. You got to go somewhere else and stay. Is understood?
Yes, understood.
And absolutely no contact with Miss Cheney during this bond, and that's no contact of any kind. No contact orally in writing through a third party at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with that location on Gable or Miss Cheney. I stress that, Mr. Cheney, because if you do any of those, you're likely to get locked up just for not listening. And that's regardless of your guilt or innocence. You got to listen to the court's bond conditions. Stay away from Miss Cheney and that Gable Street during this bond. Understood? Okay, any questions on your court date or bond conditions, sir?
Will it come in the mail?
No.
Like no?
No. Any other questions?
I see.
Okay, you're all set.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Stand right there. Hi, I'm Bob Jamari Ross.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Ruff.
Good afternoon.
Calling case number 25-055-672-01FH. People of the state of Michigan versus Bob Jamari Ruff. The second. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Benson for the people.
Right, on behalf of Mr. Ruff, waive the formal reading, stand mute. He's been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Ruff. Mr. Benson, what's your position on bond?
Magistrate, the way that I understand this one, the defendant's boyfriend, the complainant here, attempted to try to break up with him. And that's how this incident ended up transpiring, with the metal pole and the defendant destructing the house and the car. I didn't see any injuries related to this to the complainant boyfriend. This defendant does not have any priors. At this time, we're not going to be objecting to a personal bond.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Court will set a bond in the amount of $5,000. Mr. Ruff, during the pendency of this case, you have the following bond conditions. Sir, you are not to have any contact with Luke James Boye, B-O-Y-E-A, or Don Carlson. That's you or no third party. So you can't send any messages, emails, and you can't have any other individuals send messages or emails or contact in any way. Do you understand that? And you're not to return to the West 4th Street address. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Ruff, you have 2 court dates. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for February the 14th at 8:30. That will be before Judge Taylor here in the 36th District Court. You also have a right to a preliminary examination. That is scheduled in person on February the 21st at 8:30. That will also be before Judge Taylor. The court date for June 14th, the probable cause, that will be by Zoom, but the one on the 21st, the preliminary exam, that will be in person. Do you understand that? Okay, and you'll be provided some documentation before you leave the detention center. Okay? Okay, we clear on our court dates? We're clear on the bond conditions? Yes, okay. Anything further from the people?
No, thank you, Magistrate.
How about you, Mr. Reagan?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, all right, Mr. Ruff, you may step aside, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name.
Yolanda Briggs.
Thank you. It's case 250-55671, People State of Michigan versus Yolanda Nicole Briggs, identified in the complaint as defendant 2, also known as Yolanda Briggs.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Bill Reagan on behalf of
Thank
Ms. Briggs, waive the reading stand mute. She's been advised of her rights.
Thank you. The court waived formal reading and her plea of not guilty. Ms. Briggs, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both probable cause via Zoom Thursday, February 13th, 8:30 at the 36th District Court. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, February 20th, 8:30, 36th District Court. What judge do we have on these? What judge do we have on these? No, on the, yep, Briggs. The female. Not guilty, please enter it. I'll give you the judge's name in a moment. Esteban from the people.
Your Honor, in this matter, she is defendant number 2. She's not charged with the shooting, but she is charged with tampering with evidence. And I do see Ms. Briggs is 52 with no criminal history that I am aware of, but I do see a mental order in lien. She had told the officer that she denied seeing the defendant, the co-defendant, I should say, owning or having a gun. Then she is later captured on green light video, putting the backpack to the curb. And that backpack contained a weapon with live rounds, a spent casing, and several boxes of ammunition. This is a very dangerous scene in which that Mr. Wilson was a barricaded gunman. She was partially there. She came out during the negotiating process. This negotiating process took about 10 hours, in which she came out during. She was subsequently, she did not turn herself in. I think the police released her, and then they came and arrested her later, I believe on the 1st, or maybe on the 3rd. I forget now. But anyhow, this co-defendant is a friend. He is a co-worker and allegedly resides with her. Now, obviously, this is a case in which she is, I'm going to argue, a possible flight risk, in the sense that here, now she's charged with a 10-year felony. She poses a danger to the community because here is a man that was shot. She lied to the police about the circumstances of the weapon that was used. She then allegedly is discarding the evidence. It's caught allegedly on video. So for those reasons, Your Honor, the people are asking for a $20,000, 10%. If the court is not willing to give a cash bond, I'd be asking for a tether, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, APA Coyle. Mr. Reagan, response. I'm inclined to do a personal bond, but go ahead, Mr. Reagan.
Judge, no criminal history, not on probation or parole. I don't know, I don't really know what Ms. Briggs' thought process is. I don't know what she knew, what she did not know. I'm just gonna ask for a personal bond. Obviously, let this case play out through the system, and let the chips fall where they may. I just don't think she's a flight risk or a danger. I'm asking for the personal.
Thank you both. Ms. Briggs, I signed this warrant, so I'm familiar with the allegations and the investigation. The incidents and the allegations surrounding this are extremely concerning and assaultive. And the allegations on your part is not being honest with officers, removing allegations of being caught on video, removing a weapon and placing it outside the residency. You're not charged with assaultive crimes. You're not. I don't know that you've ever been convicted that I'm aware of any assaultive crimes. I have no capious history I'm aware of. So given the nature of the allegations that you're charged with, the nature of the charges, and after review the investigator's report, bond will be set. $25,000 personal bond, given your lack of history and the nature of these charges. During this bond, Ms. Briggs, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. Do you have any question on your court dates or bond conditions, Ms. Briggs?
No.
Anything for people or defense?
Nothing further, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you both. DDC, any males or females at 48 hours that you're aware of that cannot wait till tomorrow morning?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate you as always. Have a good evening and be safe, everybody.
All
Thank you
right.